here we go. We're going to solve this equation, 5 is equal to 3/4 x plus 2, using a graph. The way to do that is to start with the right-hand portion of the equation and graph it. So we graph the line y is equal to 3/4 x plus 2, and we want to know where y, in this particular case, is exactly the same as 5. So we go over to here and we draw a horizontal line at 5 until we hit the graph. And then we look down to the x-axis, and that seems to be 4. That would indicate that the solution to this equation is when x is equal to 4. We can check that using our algebra. Okay, so we have the idea of checking this using 4. If we just use algebra, we could plug in, but let's just solve the equation and see what happens. If I subtract 2 from both sides, then I get 3 is exactly the same as 3/4 x. So the way we're going to work with this is we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of 3/4, which is 4/3 on that side and 4/3 on this side. So this part here becomes 1, so we're looking at x on the right, and 4/3 times 3 becomes 12/3, or x is equal to 4, which is just what we got out of there. Okay, so the algebra and the graphical methods turn out to be the same. So we'll try another one like this. Let's take a look at this equation. Y is equal to, or 2 is equal to -1/2 x plus 5. So again, you start out by graphing the right-hand side, the side with the x in it, and we get a line that looks like that. So what we want to know is when is the y going to be equal to 2? And the way we answer that question is we go horizontally at 2 and then down to the axis, and we come up with 6. So we're going to check again to see how the L corresponds to that. So we're looking at this, and if we start to solve this, we would subtract 5 from both sides, or add a -5 to both sides. And if we do that, we get a -3 is equal to a -1/2 x. Okay? So in order to solve that, again, we're going to use our idea about reciprocal. And we're going to take the reciprocal of -1/2, which is -2/1, and we're going to multiply both sides by -2/1. Okay? So this part here, because we picked it to be reciprocal, it should turn out to be 1 when we multiply those two together, and so 1 times x is x. And over here, we get a -2 times a -3, which is a positive 6/1, which is 6. Notice that's the same thing we got when we solved by graphing. So between this and the video of solving with tables and solving equations like this, you should have a good idea about the different methods that we have.